7 Jesus quotes, so absurd the church wants them hidden. That's the claim, but does it hold up? They say the church cut them out, then admit you can go read them right now. So what is it? Exposed truth or recycled nonsense? Are these passages absurd or just completely misunderstood? The truth about Jesus' absurd teachings. Welcome to Into the Desert, exploring the wilderness of ideas. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. We need your support. The algorithms are pushing divisive content while hiding serious discussion. Please become a fellow adventurer on Patreon and support this channel's mission of encouraging discussion, not division. The link is in the description. Recently, in my video feed, I saw a video claiming 7 Jesus quotes so absurd the church begs you to ignore them. Clearly clickbait, but my first thought was whether this was a Christian trying to attract non-believers or a non-Christian attacking Christianity. It was the latter, but even though it was bad AI, I watched to see what their approach was. The video started with this claim.
You grew up hearing about Jesus, maybe in a church, maybe from your grandmother, maybe just from the culture around you, and the version you got was safe, careful, designed to make you feel warm, maybe a little guilty, but mostly comfortable.
What is interesting about the images is that they depict a past era. The most recent item was a radio. Most seem older. The idea is that belief in Jesus is clearly a thing of the past. As a side note, many Christians would agree with the video at this point. A common criticism is that our view of Christianity is too comfortable. Some Christians do see Jesus as just a good buddy who helps them out of a jam, but asks little, if anything, from us. Other Christians argue against such views. The video continues.
That version exists for a reason, and today we're going to talk about what they cut out to build it. Because there are 7 things Jesus said, direct quotes, red letters, stuff you can go look up right now, that are so strange, so uncomfortable, so genuinely bizarre that the church has spent almost 2,000 years doing damage control on them. And not the kind of damage control where they explain the context and let you decide. The kind where they change the meaning, invent stories, and when none of that works, they just don't talk about it.
This is a strange claim. The image shows a knife cutting a parchment and a woman arranging fragments, while the narrator refers to what they cut out to introduce the 7 sayings of Jesus. This is common, as claims about how the Bible was rewritten or modified abound. They are false and easily refuted, but they abound. Yet, after talking about what they cut out, the narrator says of these 7 sayings that they are stuff that you can go look up right now. This immediately raises the question, if they were cut out, how can we read them? The truth is, they were not cut out by the church or anyone else. They are all in the Bibles Christians have read and studied, and that non-Christians have been attacking for thousands of years. So, at best, what we have here is a difference over the meaning and understanding of the text, which is something people have been discussing for thousands of years. These aren't even hidden, much less cut out. All these verses are discussed in great detail in commentaries, and there are even many, many books written just on the hard sayings of Jesus. Thus, the video is hard to take seriously. Consider the first verse.
And this is probably the one that hits hardest if you had any kind of religious background growing up. There's this scene in Luke chapter 14 where Jesus has this massive crowd following him. And these aren't like devoted followers who knew what they were signing up for. These are regular people, families. You know, somebody's got a kid on their hip who's been asleep for a mile. There's some guy's elderly mother shuffling along trying to keep up. There's definitely someone there who didn't even want to come, but got dragged along. Just a regular day. Nothing dramatic happening.
The descriptions of the crowd is how the video sets the stage and tries to build a context for its view of Jesus' comments. The Bible simply says, "Now great crowds accompanied him." With this context set, the video continues. And note how the AI Jesus is depicted.
And Jesus stops, turns around, looks at all these people, and says, verse 26, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple."
This is the end of the verse, but the video continues to emphasize its views.
Hate your mother. Hate your father. Hate your children. Hate yourself.
One thing to point out here is that there can be little doubt that Jesus actually said this. The AI depiction is made up, but not the words. After all, if this statement is so problematic, why did Luke ever put it in his gospel in the first place? And why had, according to the video, the church been trying to cut them out for 2,000 years if Jesus did not say them? The narrator continues to expand and emphasize their understanding of the text, and then tries to say that the church's view is that the Greek word here translated hate does not really mean hate. The latter is a distinct possibility given the setting, but the video makes two much more fundamental errors. Thus, it is easier and quicker to point them out than to dive deeply into the lexical domains of words in first century Judea. If you really are interested, a good place to start is Linguistics for Students of New Testament Greek by David Allen Black. The link is in the description. The Bible was written in the common language of the time. For Luke, that would have been first century Greek, what we now call Koine, or Common Greek. It is not a legal monotone, but uses the types of speech common at the time, including prose and poetry. Thus, one does not need to dig deep into the Greek, but can look at the common uses of terms in our own time period, as these have not changed all that much. The first issue is absolute versus relative. Hate, and also love, can be used as absolutes or relative terms. Consider how you have used these terms in your own life. Has the meaning of hate or love ever changed? You have probably said you hated something, not because you actually hated it, but as a relative term. The same is true for love. Consider the following two sentences. I love ice cream, and I love my mother. Are they using love the same way? Does love mean the same in both sentences? No. It's most likely that the first, I love ice cream, is a relative use of love, while the reference to mother is absolute. The second is similar, as we often use words hyperbolically for emphasis. That the Bible, and even Jesus, uses such ordinary types of speech is clear. When Peter asked Jesus if he should forgive someone 7 times, Jesus said to him, I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. Matthew chapter 18, verse 22. This is not setting a literal rule that you must forgive 77 times, but at the 78th, you no longer have to. This is hyperbole, indicating that there are no bounds to forgiveness. With these two issues, Jesus' comments in Luke chapter 14, verse 26, that the video finds so absurd, are no longer hard to understand, particularly given the overall context of that section, which is the cost of discipleship. Read in context, this is a difficult saying, but by no means absurd. So what do you think? Do you think the video is correct and Jesus really did teach that we should hate our parents? Is this an absurd teaching? Tell us why in the comments. We love reading your comments and reply to many of them. Let us know if you would like us to address any of the other 6 so-called absurd statements. If you've made it this far in the video, consider watching one of our other videos and supporting our channel on Patreon. Thank you for watching Into the Desert, exploring the wilderness of ideas. And to our fellow adventurers, a special thank you for helping to support this channel out on Patreon.